Hello and welcome to Now Network News, coming to you from our studio here on the downtown Clarksville Square. Now we're talking. This is your go-to community affairs podcast where meaningful conversations spark action and inspiration. The conversation starts now. We're with Clarksville Mayor Barrie Aycock, Clarksville Councilmember Brad Coppedge, and Habersham County Commissioner Ty Akins. First thing out of the gate, I want to say thank all of you all for allowing, City of Clarksville and Habersham County for allowing now Habersham the opportunity to tour the old courthouse. It was great. It was interesting. It was insightful and kind of sad. So a lot of memories even for me, and I've only lived here 30 years. So Todd, tell us a little bit about the evolution of the courthouse being sold, if you don't mind. You've been on the commission for a while, and I know you haven't been there the whole time, but can you tell us a little bit how it evolved from courthouse to being sold?
Yeah, and I'm sure the other guests around this table will have additional insight and information that even I won't say, but so I believe it was listed for sale before I ever became a commissioner. So that I can't really speak to. Yes. But so it certainly didn't begin with my term as commissioner. But while I was commissioner, we worked with the city of Clarksville and the Development Authority to issue a RFP. In other words, a proposal that we could control what happened to it from the county's perspective. And I think Clarksville felt the same way from discussions I had. We didn't just want to sell it, and have somebody buy it and sit on it, or have somebody buy it and then try to resell it. And, so that was the reason that we got the Development Authority involved. That was the intent. The intent was to do something, have something done that was good for all parties. That's what we went into it with. And then, so I think the only RFP we got back was from Clarksville. And then Tim, at that time, Tim Sims was CFO, and he said, if you just get one proposal, you don't have to open it. You can reissue it. You can do whatever, but you don't have to open just that one bid. And so then we promptly met with Clarksville again, and Ms. Aycock, you were there, and Franklin Brown was there. And then we talked about just working just between us and not doing the whole complicated RFP and just keep it between governments. But I don't think the timing was right for anyway, that just didn't go anywhere. And so then we pursued demolition, and Clarksville offered to split that cost. I think at that time it was a Development Authority, and y'all were going to split it. Yeah. So, and if I'm misspeaking here, I don't intend to, if I'm missing something, but,
I'll correct you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, so anyway, we went forward with the whole proposal of demolition and got, several, bids back. They were good. And we were, right at the point where we were about to say go. And, this group, Parkside jumped in, kind of really at the 11th hour. But their proposal was good. They proposed to Clarksville. They proposed to us. They proposed to they said, this is what we do. This is what and they seemed like very, likely developers for this kind of project. It seemed like it was right in there. To me, it seemed like this was it. That's what they do. Take old buildings and refurbish and repurpose and make them look good. And so we went down that path for a year.
Every bit of a year.
And then it ended at the end of the due diligence period. And I'm not sure what all went wrong with them.
At the 11th hour.
Yeah, and we were trying to, and I think at that time the city had a special called meeting, and was trying to do all they could to work with them. The commissioner said, hey, we'll extend it. You don't even have to give us any more money at this time.
Well, I can speak to that,
Yeah.
I think, because we had at our retreat last fall, we had a video from them, a video online, live video, and they were very upfront about the fact that they were running into serious cost issues. And I think I'm correct in that what Keith Dickerson, our city manager, said. It boiled down to the fact that their subcontractors were not comfortable with going into that building, and that the deterioration was that there were too many. They felt there were too many unknowns, and with the cost of construction rising daily, that they were just, and they put a bunch of money.
They did.
Into, I mean, I think it wasn't a couple of $100,000 that they spent. And, they did not want to back out, but they just realized that it just did not, it became not a viable thing. And we respected that.
So the city actually got involved pretty early on in the process.
We were involved from day one. Well, I mean, not day one. I mean, I do remember going, 10 years ago to right after I became mayor, being in a session with the county talking about, some other proposals way back that didn't go anywhere.
Right.
But so yes, we really have been involved. We were very disappointed when, we submitted a bid, which was a serious bid.
Right.
And we could have been 2 years ahead if that had, but that didn't happen, and understand. So here we are.
Here we are.
Well, Mayor, the abatement process has already begun. You see the dumpster out there, and they're bringing furniture out. I noticed that the other day. How long do you think that process will take place?
Well, I tried to pull that up. That Keith sent us a detailed description of the process. And I tried to print it, but as usual, technology works doesn't work often. Sometimes when you want it to, but it seems like it was about 45 days total.
April 28th was kind of the target date for the 10 days of internal kind of taking things out of the building, last attempt. And then after that, there's a 24-day bringing the building down. So you're looking at, probably going into the first couple of weeks of June, that building will basically be gone. Everything will have been removed by then.
Okay. So do you know, will you say that the sometime after the 28th of April will be the actual demolition?
That's the start date of the demolition, correct? Both internal and external.
Yeah. Okay. They're beginning to do the asbestos and getting out all of the nasty stuff. And then there will be a period where they will remove everything that can be sold or recycled. Okay. And that will take a period of time. And then they, as I understand it, they're going to somehow wrap the building so that when they demolish it, it's not gonna.
Right, some type of enclosure to control the dust and whatever other debris is going to be in the actual air, because you've got a lot of businesses around the area, so obviously that has to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, do you want to pipe in on this?
Yeah, I was going to ask, we hear once the building is demolished, we hear, we've heard rumors of what could happen to that property. Any idea of developers in mind or who we could see occupying that space?
I really want to speak to that because there has been so much chatter and misinformation, not on the part of the city or the county, but people jumping to conclusions and, Facebook, putting stuff out on Facebook. And we have two, I think, main objectives. One is that we very much would like to put a fire station on the rear of the property. The fire station will not be on Washington Street. It will not be where the courthouse is now. It will be at the rear of the property. It will not exit onto Washington Street. The fire station where we are now is in a residential area. The property is too small. The building is old. The building is not in good shape. We need a new fire station. Fire station can only be located in the epicenter of the town. It cannot be it has to be, it's very limited where we can put it. We're going to move it 1,000 feet from where it is now. And there is also some chance that we can obtain a USDA loan to help pay for the fire station. Of course, we all know with the status of government money right now, who knows? And they won't even, Keith told me yesterday, they won't even talk to us until we own the property. And then at that point, we can begin to apply for some funding, which would certainly help to pay for the cost of the property.
When do you expect the city to take full possession of that property?
Probably April
15th was the date that was shared with me by Keith. So looking at the middle of the month.
Sometime.
Okay.
We have been assured of the funding. We have the funding.
And are we looking at what's the timeline again? Remind me of when we could see full demolition of that building over there.
Well, it'll start basically April 28th for about 34 total days after that.
And can we nail down, we know about the fire station and that sort of thing. Can we nail down any potential developers the city might be looking at attracting or any type of, mixed use or any development that we could see there?
Well, for the rest of the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The rest of the property, where the courthouse is now, will definitely be put out for bid for development for a commercial use. What we would like is a boutique hotel. But, I can say what it won't be. It won't be rental property. It won't be a big box store. It will be either a hotel or something similar to what Parkside was proposing.
Well, some people say a hotel would be ideal in that location because of its proximity to Helen, to, you're here in Clarksville, to the mountains.
We don't have a high-end hotel. And by high-end, I just mean not a chain, not a Daisy, and it would be a,
more upscale, would you say?
More upscale.
Yeah.
So, Ty, what do you think about these plans? I mean, it's going to benefit the county.
I think it sounds great. I'm just glad to hear Dollar General's not doing it.
Well,
was that one of the rumors? Yeah.
Just
I
kidding.
mean, but nothing is concrete.
No, nothing's great. I mean, I think that from my perspective, the county and the city both really wanted kind of the same kind of things. Yeah. Maybe a little variance but I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I hope it works out. I mean, I want the same thing that Ms. Aycock and Mr. Coppedge are explaining here this morning. It'd be nice to see some kind of commercial use. A hotel would be splendid. I agree 100% that we could use that. I'd like to see a rooftop bar and restaurant, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something like that. But I think it's good that Clarksville's got it, or will, for all intents and purposes, will here shortly. And it's right in the middle of their city, and it needs to be what they think works for them.
Okay.
I want to ask the mayor real quick. You said, you plan not to run for re-election. Do you consider this, your ultimate and final legacy of your time in office?
You bet. Yeah. I would like to say that Angela Aycock, fellow council person, was supposed to be here today, and just it didn't work out. But she is the one who just kept on, just wouldn't let it die, and it practically every council meeting, to the point that some of us were rolling our eyes and saying, just please, okay, Angela, we understand, but it's not going to happen. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And finally, at the last hour, really, she's just said, let's just make a bet on it. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
I remember that meeting.
You were there.
She said, let's go public with it.
Yes,
I remember that.
Right. She did. She said, let's quit all this backdoor, negotiate. Let's just go public. Let's put it out there. Let's say we are going to bid on the property. And one thing, we're paying $1 million for this property. And we could not have done that a few years ago.
Right.
The economic outlook of Clarksville was just not positive enough. But now it is. And Keith says, no question. And I was like, what?
Well, that speaks to the leadership of the city to be able to be in that position to do that.
Yes, it does. He said, we can do it. I'm not worried about it. And, and the value of the property has increased significantly.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to thank Clarksville Mayor Barrie Aycock, Councilmember Brad Coppedge, Commissioner from Habersham County Ty Akins, for informing the community about the old courthouse. We want to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in to the Now Network News podcast. Now we're talking.